You're listening to Catholic Chicago. Ahead, the Archdiocese of Chicago brings you programs about the people, events, and issues that touch our lives. Welcome to Catholic Chicago.
Good morning. Welcome to Catholic Chicago on WNDZ 750 AM, 312-255-8408. You can also get us on youtube.com/Catholic Chicago. Father Greg Sakowitz, the rector of Holy Name Cathedral, and co-host Mark Teresi, executive director of the cathedral. Good morning, Mark. How are you?
Good morning. Very well. Thank you. Driving in on Lakeshore Drive, windows down, that beautiful breeze. It's like, thank you, God, for today.
The last few days have been beautiful weather, and they're talking 70s and 80s the next week, maybe a little chance of rain, but it's hard to believe we are approaching mid-August, and we're talking 3.5 weeks away from Labor Day. It's like, where has the summer flown?
Well, we still have some to enjoy.
We have some to enjoy, but it's just, and also the weather has been great this summer.
But
by and large.
Don't they say when you get older, the time flies even faster?
I remember as a child being kind of bored with summer, but yet not wanting to go back to school, but tired of playing football and baseball and basketball. Mother said, go out and play. And she said, Greg, and I said, oh, I'm so bored. It's going so slow. And she said, wait until you get older, it goes faster. I said, yes, sure, Mom. She was right.
Here it is.
And so beautiful day here in Chicago. And Cubs won, Sox lost. Cubs are rebuilding, and the White Sox are underachieving. So it's great. That's our sports report here on WNDZ. Great program lined up this morning. This is the season when students are beginning to return to school. Ironically, Mark, we returned to school as a kid the day after Labor Day, but it's much earlier today, which means that campus ministries everywhere are gearing up for a very busy fall semester. Joining us for this first segment today program is Father Bradley Zamora, chaplain and director of the Shield Catholic Center at Northwestern University in Evanston, and his new director of campus ministry, Crystal Serrano Puebla. Good morning to Father Brad and to Crystal. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you, Brad?
Doing great, Greg. Good to see you.
Good.
Mark, good to see you too.
How's I see the beard's coming in very well now.
After 3 years, it's finally taking shape,
You're not going to shave until the Cubs win a World Series. It'll be down to your ankles.
Yeah.
Just wait till
it'll be with me for a while.
Wait till you start seeing white in it. Oh.
And
Our son, it's starting to come in gray. Oh my God, my son has a gray beard. Anyway.
Your son, that's amazing with a gray beard. Now, Crystal, you've been part of the campus ministry. You began as of when?
We just hit our 1 month mark, so new, fresh, just started.
Now, where are you from before this, Crystal?
I'm from Chicago originally, but have kind of moved between Indiana and Illinois for work and grad school.
That is wonderful. Now, Brad, for our listeners, maybe give us a brief history of Shield Center.
Yeah, so Shield began really in the early 1900s, if we can say that, with a group of students who wanted to have some sort of Catholic club on the university campus and approached the university about it. And they were given a house, maybe about a block and a half from where we currently sit on Northwestern's campus. And eventually, because of the robust ministries that Shield was offering then, that continues today, the students approached Bishop Shield, who was one of our auxiliary bishops in Chicago at the time.
I think it was back in the 1930s.
Yeah.
Or 1940s.
Saying, we need something else. And the university had sort of underdeveloped the north end of campus and offered the Catholic students and the Catholic organization a parking lot. And that's where the Shield Catholic Center since the late 1960s has been. And ever since then, we've been accompanying students consistently and robustly in their time, whether as an undergrad student or as a graduate student at Northwestern University.
Crystal, how did you hear about Shield, and why did you say yes to this position?
Yeah, so I was looking for a transition, kind of coming back to campus ministry around late spring, and I just happened to go on the Archdiocesan website and look and see what's out there, and I came across Shield and their mission, and really truly just by looking at their website and seeing how student focused and how student centered this mission was, into walking very intentionally with students. And so that to me was like a big sign of like, this is where I want to be. Mm-hmm. I myself was evangelized through campus ministry, and I'm here today and living out my faith because of diligent campus ministers who took the time to get to know me, to know my hurts, my joys, and bring Jesus into that. And so for me, I think that's what drew me back here and into campus ministry, and being able to do that, walking with of students. Now that I've had the opportunity to grow in ministry and in my faith, and just being able to share that a little bit with our students.
Are you saying then, Crystal, that your involvement today is because of people who touched your life when you were younger in a different campus, and you want to somehow now pass it on?
What campus?
Oh yeah, 100%.
What campus was that?
Yeah, I'm curious. What campus?
I was at Lewis University outside of Romeoville. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I would not be here today without my campus ministry. At the time when I was a student, I identified as atheist, and I had completely fallen away from the church, and I 100% would not be here had it not been for the work of campus ministry.
Now, along those lines, if you entered the campus and checked off atheist, how did you even approach campus ministry or the center, at Lewis? Because that's the last place you'd want to be on campus. So how did that even happen?
So I think for me, I'm Mexican American, and so like my Latino culture is so closely tied with Catholicism, and so even though I didn't fully believe in God, there was things that still drew me to the Catholic faith because of my cultural identity. So there was still some touch points that I would make with our campus ministry, but really for me, what it took, and maybe I'd walk in for the Our Lady of Guadalupe Mass that we would have, or if there was a very, very, special type of event, I might walk in. But really what got me there, I had one Catholic friend when I was in college, and during my junior year, I was going through just a lot of transitions, and I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I felt really alone and lost. And my Catholic friend invited me to a retreat that they were having at campus ministry. And she really posed it as, if nothing else, it's just a time to get away and give you space to kind of recollect and reframe and rest. And so I took a chance, it just took that one invitation. I wasn't sure, but I trusted her. And I took a chance, and, from there, that kind of catapulted my entire faith journey.
That's beautiful.
Crystal,
now I'm going to ask
Crystal, you've given us a tremendous witness talk.
Right, exactly. And you can see the impact. You see the impact. First of all, you're smiling all the way through it, which means that's part of your joy. Yeah. But the second thing is you can see that you'll be a witness to the folks there.
Now, I need to ask Mark along those lines. Brad, I've got to come back to you for a moment. I'm sure you interviewed many people for the position to be campus minister. And two things. One, was this a brand new created position that never happened before, to have a a campus minister, I don't want to say assistant with you, but a co-partner. Was that a brand new position?
Yeah, so the position of Director of Campus Ministry, which Crystal is now, is a new position for SHIELD.
So my question was, why'd you hire her?
I was going to say that. My question, too, exactly. You interviewed a lot of people. What was it about Crystal that in your mind said, she is the one?
Well, I still have to work with this person, so I don't want to give it all away. But in all goodness, what I think I learned from the interview process, right, is that number one, there are amazing people in our church who are doing amazing things. We had probably about 30 or so applicants for this position.
Don't tell me, wait. I was expecting maybe 5 to 10. You're saying 30 people applied for this position.
Yeah.
That's an amazing number.
It is amazing.
It's remarkable. It truly is. But in those interviews, there was a robustness to what people are actually doing in the church. So there's a lot of great people doing a lot of great things for our young adults and trying to come alive in the love of Jesus. But when we interviewed Crystal and we did rounds of interviews, rounds with the team that I have at SHIELD currently, and then also rounds with some recent alums, there was something about the way in which Crystal was able to articulate mission through her own particular witness, which is so key these days, to someone sort of latching on and understanding the faith, not textbook, not scriptural, but lived, right? That lived, authentic experience of faith that other people had, but the way Crystal was able to articulate it and sort of bring that to how that authentic experience of faith can be integrated on our campus here at Northwestern University, and how that would be sort of the touch point for how she accompanies, we were just wowed. And I went into this knowing that the Spirit was going to bring us the right person. That was my prayer from the beginning, that Spirit be good to us. And my goodness, the Spirit gave us a double portion of goodness.
It's interesting that, Mark and I are being wowed by Crystal's comments today, and we're not hiring her.
I would.
We're being wowed.
Yeah, so stay away, please.
And Brad, and your comments today, Brad, have been phenomenal too. Mark, you have a question.
Yeah. So, Brad, we were together up at Mundelein. You did great work there. Great associate at Holy Name. You're at Mundelein doing all kinds of stuff. Did you ever imagine this would be part of your priestly journey?
Yeah, I've never imagined any part of my priestly journey would be a part of my priestly journey. And I think that's just the freedom of this vocation, right? On May 17th, 2014, I promised respect and obedience to Francis George. And the same became true when Blaise Supich became our Archbishop. And I've never looked for anything in the priesthood, but in the things that have been entrusted to me and the people who I've been able to walk with, the Lord and the Spirit knew what they were doing in placing me in the places that I am. And so I truly mean this, and I tell this to our community here at Northwestern all the time. I felt a rejuvenation in my priesthood over the last year, really engaging campus ministry, getting to know our students on campus, both those who are on fire with the love of the Lord and those who are just seeking, and then also the people from the community, alums, parents, people from Evanston, people at great distance who believe in our mission as a campus ministry center, who witness that longevity of faith back to our young people so they see that it can last. And that's a real gift.
Now, before Mark takes us to break, big question for me. Brad, how does the football team look this fall?
That's a great question. I would say they're always looking good, 100%. I've been out at their practices in the spring. I'll be out at their practices this coming week. But the gift that I bring to the football team is prayer. So at least we are rooted in the Lord in these days leading up to the start of the season. And it's the Lord's will, whatever happens.
That's a good answer.
And as they play, depending on how they play.
Say that when you play Michigan or Ohio State.
Right. The intensity of prayer will increase.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, we're going to take a break. WNDZ 750 AM, Catholic Chicago, 312-255-8408. Or you can go to youtube.com/Catholic Chicago. We're with Father Brad Zamora, Chaplain Director of SHIELD Catholic Center at Northwestern University, and his new Director of Campus Ministry, Crystal Serrano Puebla. We will be back in a few minutes to continue this wonderful conversation. Please stay tuned.
Catholic Charities' Refugee Resettlement Program has been especially busy this year, assisting individuals and families who have fled dangerous situations in their homeland, including Afghanistan and the Ukraine. The Refugee Resettlement Team helps with everything they need to start to rebuild their lives in a new country, including housing, employment, clothing, food, English classes, and referrals for legal and immigration services. The refugees are tremendously grateful for the compassion and practical help they're receiving, and they're giving back and helping each other plan for a brighter, safer future. Volunteer opportunities are currently available for those who would like to be family mentors and tutors so children and adults can practice English. To learn more about these rewarding opportunities, call 312-655-7096. That's 312-655-7096.
Welcome to the Shield Catholic Center at Northwestern University. No matter who you are, what questions you have, or where you're from, you are welcome here.
Welcome.
환영합니다.
Acabo.
Witamy. Bienvenidos.
Welcome.
The SHIELD team and student community look forward to meeting you soon and accompanying you on your spiritual journey. You'll discover vibrant worship, service opportunities, Bible studies, and more to deepen your relationship with Jesus and grow as witnesses of God's love.
SHIELD is your spiritual home away from home.
SHIELD is church.
SHIELD is an inclusive space where all are welcome to spend time with the Lord.
SHIELD is a place to connect with people across campus and the Evanston community.
SHIELD is a community that welcomes all.
And I invite you to discover what SHIELD is for you. Join us every Sunday at 9:30, 11, or 5 for Mass, or throughout the week. SHIELD is me. SHIELD is you. SHIELD is us.
Together.
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 We're back, WNDZ 750 AM. Father Greg Sakowicz, Mark Teresi here with Catholic Chicago, 312-255-8408. Or you can go to youtube.com/Catholic Chicago. We're having a wonderful conversation. Father Brad Zamora is chaplain and director of SHIELD Catholic Center at Northwestern, and his brand new director of campus ministry, brand newly hired, 1 month old,
and still there.
Right, and she's not 1 month old, but Crystal Serrano Puebla. Question: new position. It's a new position, Crystal. What are your dreams for the position? What plans do you have walking in the door?
I think for me in this first year, more than anything is to get to know our students and to know what the needs of our community are. I think I'm definitely in the mindset of if in entering into ministry, it's like the collaboration with whatever group of people that you're working with. And so for me, I think my biggest hope is to inspire our campus ministry community to really engage with us and to feel like they have a place there to take up space, to really, really engage in leadership, to know that they have a role and that they're pivotal to our mission. And so more than anything is understanding what are your needs and how can I make you shine and give you the resources and the tools necessary to bring about this work.
It's a wonderful response. Along those lines then, Brad, this is your second year in the position as now Brad, or as Crystal now begins her first year. In the first year you were at Shield Center, what has been the biggest joy and surprise in your ministry so far?
Yeah, Shield has a great legacy of accompanying students at Northwestern University and a legacy of phenomenal people who support what we're able to do as a Newman Center, as a campus ministry center. So I think the robustness of what we offer has truly been one of the joys. There truly is something for each individual student to be able to plug into, sort of regardless where they are on their journey of faith. I would say the greatest joy, though, that I've experienced over the course of the last year is really seeing students who maybe were, lukewarm in their faith or just sort of showed up, begin to engage, begin to ask those deeper questions, begin to develop their own personal prayer life outside of what the church asks us to do each Sunday. And so for me, sort of seeing that flame of faith grow brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter in each individual student has been the greatest joy. And maybe the surprise is the willingness that those students who have come alive in that love of Jesus to go out and invite others to come and see makes that whole understanding of missionary discipleship just come alive for us on our campus.
Now
so I think the joy and the surprise are linked together.
You've shared the surprise, you've shared the joy, but there's always a flip side. In the 1 year you've been there, what has frustrated you the most?
Yeah, probably the hours, because I'm just back to being a college student myself.
True.
It's very late nights, and sometimes it's very early mornings, depending on the needs of the students. So that's sort of been, I don't know if it's frustrating, but it's been a change coming from seminary where it's very early mornings to campus ministry where it's very late nights has just been personal frustration for me to sort of flip my life around. But it's totally worth it.
Now, this is a little personal, but then it'll move to your new position. So I remember, Brad, when you're at Mundline, we did a songbook gift in honor. Was it in honor of your grandma that your family made? Yeah, that was a beautiful, beautiful gesture. The whole community got to use that gift. So I look at the Shield Center, and I think, well, what are your needs there? What are the financial needs that you have at the Newman Center, and how can people get involved with that?
Yeah, I appreciate that question tremendously. I think the number one thing that people can do right now, truly, for our young people is to pray for them. They're going through a lot of struggles and questions and seeking and really trying to keep that flame of faith alive at a secular private university. And that's a difficult thing to do. So I think prayer for anyone, that way anyone can join us in our mission, is key. But to be able to do what we do does cost money. So even just things, like keeping our building open, our lights running. This past weekend, our fire alarm system decided to go berserk.
We know that one.
So
you're talking like a pastor now.
Yeah, really.
Well, these are the real things. But I think if people really want to get to the heart of our mission and our primary mission is as a campus ministry center. So I think if people believe in campus ministry and the importance of our Catholic faith not being passed on to the next generation, because these young people have it, but really for them to harness it and make it their own and challenge the church to become something new so that the next generation can come alive in something new, like Crystal did, like I did, like each of us did. Go to our website, check out our give page.
And what is that website?
So go to shieldcatholiccenter.org. Give is right on the top. And there's, earmark that money for our campus ministry budget. It'll touch our students so that they can go on our Kairos retreat and our Encounter retreat. It'll allow them to go on mission immersions to show the wider perspective of what the Catholic Church is. It allows us to have Bible studies. It allows us to just have socials where relationships can be built, because community is one of the things our young people these days are longing for. So if you believe in that and in helping our students come alive in the love of Jesus, even further than they might already be, click on that give button on the top of our website, shieldcatholiccenter.org, and join us as a partner in our mission.
Okay.
If you do that, you become a part of who we are as Shield, and we as a team pray for anyone who gives, student, associate, greater community, every week when we gather as a team for prayer.
That's a great summary there. And now, Crystal, you've been there for a month now. You've had a chance to meet some of the students, and you yourself are very young. What are some of the biggest concerns on the minds of college young people today that you're experiencing as you just begin on campus of Northwestern?
I think in particular for our students at a university like Northwestern that is academically very competitive and all of our students are exceptional. I think they're dealing with a lot of stress of trying to compete and trying to live up to this image of what it means to be a Northwestern student. So I think those questions of identity of who am I and does my identity lie in what I do and how I perform in my classes, or is it is there a deeper identity and who does that lie with? And so those are the questions that we're helping our students wrestle with. But in addition to that, just the mental health crisis that we're facing, a lot of our students are dealing with extreme bouts of anxiety and depression and just general stress. There are a lot of things attacking them from multiple different places. And then also, being away from home sometimes for the first times, or very, very far away and not being able to make it back for a very long time, maybe. So I think that they're dealing with just a general identity crisis and trying to figure out who is it that I am and who does Jesus call me to be, and how do I take this faith that maybe has been given from my childhood and make it my own, and then how do I go from here and live that out post college?
Good. Now, what about, Brad, before we leave, what about the worship invitation? You don't want pastors to say, oh, you're inviting people away from the parish, but if people want to kind of look at Shield from the worship perspective, how does that work?
There's no gates up at our doors. Mm-hmm. So anyone who wants to pray with our community, whether on weekdays at 5 p.m. or on Sundays at 9:30, 11, and 5, are most welcome. And in doing so, we invite you then to join us in our mission. The beautiful thing about what's coming up for this school year ahead is that our students are returning. So there'll be a robustness to our worship and our identity present in that chapel. And I think in seeing students engage, not only just on Sundays, but on weekdays as well, just shows how impactful campus ministry can be in their lives. And so if people want to come see that, if people want to join us in supporting that mission through a gift, we are all about it. Any good gift has to start with worship and prayer and discernment with the Lord. Exactly. And that leads then to supporting something.
On that beautiful note, I want to thank in a very special way Father Bradley Zamora, chaplain and director of the Shield Catholic Center at Northwestern University in Evanston, and his new director of campus ministry, Crystal Serrano Puebla. Crystal and Brad, you've been phenomenal guests. We could have gone a full hour. May God bless you. There's a lot of energy and joy, and keep up the great ministry. And Brad, I can't believe you've been ordained now over 8 years. You've been a marvelous priest. You're one of the best we have in the Archdiocese. You are listening to Catholic Chicago here on WNDZ 750, 312-255-8408. You can also get us on youtube.com/Catholic Chicago. Father Greg Sakowitz, Mark Teresi, stay with us. We'll be back after these messages. Again, do not touch that dial.
have an old bicycle that's not being used? Consider donating it to Catholic Charities Veterans Bike Project of Lake County. Skilled volunteers are refurbishing bicycles to make them safe and ready to be used by veterans to get to and from their new places of work. We also gratefully accept financial contributions that are used to purchase bike helmets and other safety accessories. Our veterans have faithfully served the United States, and now it is our privilege to serve them. For more information on the Veterans Bike Project of Lake County, call 847-782-4219. That's 847-782-4219.
Always say, how can you spend your day with 3-year-olds? Seeing the changes that they go through and just the journey and how they grow, this is a very rewarding job. Even though at the end of the day, we're not the highest paid people on earth. And when I have a parent contact me and say, my child loves school, that to me, I'm setting that foundation for their love of learning, because really you are changing lives, you are molding lives.
Shape the next generation of leaders. Teach. Apply today at archchicago.org/schooljobs.
Catholic Charities has had the privilege of helping people in need in Cook and Lake County for more than 100 years. We would like to take this opportunity to thank our frontline workers who, despite the unprecedented challenges of the past 2 years, continue to excel at their jobs every day. From the warehouse staff members who pack boxes of nutritious foods for low-income seniors, to the dedicated WIC employees who have remained open for families with children under the age of 5, to our volunteers and restaurant partners who ensure that meals are available for those experiencing hunger, to our service coordinators and our professional counselors who continue their vital work in innovative ways, to our food pantry staff, and to all those who work at Catholic Charities Call Center, finding solutions for every person who reaches out to us for help. Charity is at the heart of all you do, and we salute you.
The Cemetery Ministry is a core ministry of our Catholic faith tied to the corporal works of mercy. It's comforting to know that our Catholic cemeteries are caring for the remains of our loved ones awaiting the resurrection. There are 44 Archdiocese of Chicago Catholic cemeteries willing to help you in your time of loss. Call 708-449-6100 or visit CatholicCemeteriesChicago.org. Catholic Cemeteries, serving the Catholic community since 1837.
You're listening to Catholic Chicago. Ahead, the Archdiocese of Chicago brings you programs about the people, events, and issues that touch our lives. Thanks for letting us be part of your morning. Now again, Catholic Chicago.
Welcome back to Catholic Chicago on WNDZ 750 AM 312-255-8408. You can also get us on youtube.com/Catholic Chicago. Father Greg Sakowitz, Mark Teresi. Mark, that was a wonderful, invigorating first half discussion with Father Brad and Crystal. It was just inspiring.
And I hope young people heard her journey, that she was not interested in faith or the church. But
she checked the box atheist.
Right.
When she entered Lewis.
Right. But look at, she talked about evangelization. She was invited to a retreat just to be with herself and her thoughts. And that invitation, whoever that person was that invited her, really understands evangelization.
And changed her life because as she was then open through that person and the Spirit, she in turn wants to pass it on, took the position, changed the course of her whole life to invite others to where she once was. But again, it's a journey, it's a process. And in many ways, we are not human beings. We are human becomings, hopefully becoming something more in and with the Lord.
And it was modeled on Pope Francis. If you look at his accompaniment, a theological approach, that's what her friend did. She accompanied her.
Exactly.
She didn't force her into anything.
Invited and accompanied
Yeah.
and she took her, or he took her where she was at.
Exactly.
And invited to the next step. Second half program, again, it'll be outstanding. As of late July, about 100,000 Ukrainian refugees have been admitted into the United States as a result of Russia's ongoing invasion and occupation of the Ukraine. Many of those refugees are here right in Chicago area. Recently, the Diaconate of Chicago partnered with St. Nicholas Cathedral School to assist some of those Ukrainian refugees' families. Joining us for this segment of the program are Deacon James Norman, Vicar for the Deacons in the Archdiocese of Chicago, back on this program by popular demand, and Deacon James Sponder, Chairman of the Diaconate Council in the Archdiocese of Chicago, and Anna Cirilli, Principal at the St. Nicholas Cathedral School in Chicago. Welcome to all of you. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Jim, you were on about 3 weeks ago. You're back on by popular demand.
I'm back on by the generosity of the Diaconate Council and the outstanding work being done by Anna at St. Nicholas Cathedral.
And Anna, specifically, where is the cathedral located?
In the heart of Ukrainian Village.
Excellent. And
So-
you've been principal for how long?
Exactly. I've been the principal for 7 years.
7 years. Wow. And in your role, Jim Sponder, as chairman of the Diaconate Council, there's Dive Chicago. You've been in that position for how long, Jim?
Oh, for this position, just a few years. But I have, actually, Deacon Jim Norman and myself, we graduated, or we were ordained in the same class. So we're about 10 years as a deacon.
Beautiful.
Are you both class of 2012?
2013.
2013. Oh, you're classmates then.
Right.
Yes.
Now, is this your diaconate assignment, both of you, these positions you're talking about, or do you connect with the parish?
For myself, I am working at a parish, Mary Mother of Divine Grace in Westchester, Illinois, and I have a full-time job here, but I also am appointed as the chairman of the executive board for the council.
How about for you?
And for me, my home parish, I'm deacon at Our Lady of Sorrows Basilica on the west side of Chicago. Recently, I'm serving as vicar for deacons beginning July and holding on to some of my responsibility as director of vicariate operations for Vicariate 6, which is a paid position with the Archdiocese of Chicago.
And Anna, what is your background? Are you from Chicago originally, Anna?
No, I grew up in northern Wisconsin.
Wait, time out. Wait.
How far north?
Wait.
You're
going
to ask the question.
Anna, the question. Are you a Green Bay Packers fan?
Well,
honestly,
it's sort of hard to say. It's sort of hard to say no to that question.
Okay, this discussion is over.
Yeah.
We're going to go to a 20-minute break.
Thank you all for tuning in.
Thank you for joining us.
We're signing off. No, just kidding.
When you hear about her outstanding work, you will welcome her back, I'm sure.
Though a Packer fan.
But that's a great segue.
Anna, just joking. Now, for Anna, for you as principal of school, what's happened since February with the Russian invasion of the Ukraine has been beyond horrific. I mean, words can't describe the atrocities, the deaths. Now, I'm sure you've heard some of these stories from families and from children. So where do you step in now with these refugees coming to our country and our city? Take it from there.
At first we didn't really know how to help or what we were going to do. And then we realized that we could welcome, 1 or 2 or 10 new students that were fleeing the war. And then we found ourselves at the end of the school year at 75. And through that journey, we found ways, just brainstorming with the team. I really left it up to my team to come up with strategies and to put their heads together to try to decipher what needs we could help with right away. And so it was to welcome the students and show them that this was a safe and nurturing environment and that it was time to have some fun and try to forget about, what they just left, which is hard to do, right? So the community came together. We put together a wish list, and we had a room that was just filled with toys and school supplies. So a student would come in, crying, and they're in a new environment and it's uncomfortable for them. And we would walk them right up there, and it would just sort of change the tone of the meeting for the first time. And then we were able to continue on with preparing them for our first day at St. Nick's. That got to be overwhelming just in itself, because we were doing that almost every day then.
Wow.
For the rest of the school year. And those meetings would last about 3 hours or so, because you wanted to get them fitted with school uniforms and make sure their backpack was full for the first day. Make sure they had a desk in the classroom. We ran out of desks. So just, every process, we sort of sometimes we'd stumble, and then we'd have to go back and reevaluate, well, how can we do this better for the next student? Make sure that the desk is there right when they walk in, things like that. Typical things that might happen in a school, but we were just sort of running on autopilot by maybe the 50th student.
So I was saying, Anna, you started with 1 student, 5 students, 10, 20, 30, 50, 75. So all that you do along with the faculty, administration, in your day-to-day operation, all of a sudden with the outbreak of war and these families and children started arriving, all that you're doing, this got added on to already a full agenda.
Now, Anna, just from visually, on YouTube, we can see you. You have a big heart, you can tell, and you also are carrying a heavy burden. 2 parts to that. The first part is, so the deacons came in on August 8th and brought you $10,000 to help support your work. How did that make you feel, and how are you dealing with the stress of this? Is something that you couldn't have imagined would be part of your being a principal here.
Yeah, I think that goes with what I said, we're just kind of running on autopilot. There's a couple tears running down from my eyes, sorry.
Yeah.
I really tried to stay strong through this entire process, mostly for my team, because I needed them to be strong when, a student broke down because maybe their parent, or we had a situation where a parent was going back to Ukraine to deliver supplies, and it was terrifying for our teachers to hear stories directly from the students. And sometimes it was does this 7-year-old really know what they're talking about? Do they really realize what they're saying? And the teacher would have to step out and, have a moment. So I really, myself, I was doing yoga at night and going to, to our liturgies in the morning. The day of the invasion started happening around 10 o'clock at night, our time, I want to say. And in the middle of the night, early morning, my assistant principal and I were texting and what do we do? I think we need to go to church. I think that's just the first thing that we do is start the day with prayer. And that's really what got myself through is, taking those moments to quiet down and focus on hope and prayer and praying that everything will just work out.
Beautiful. We're going to take a little break.
Thank you for sharing that, Anna.
Yes, thank you so much. WNDZ, 750 AM, Catholic Chicago. Father Greg Sakowicz, Mark Teresi here, 312-255-8408. Or you can go to youtube.com/Catholic Chicago. We'll be back in a few minutes continuing to talk about the beautiful work at St. Nicholas Cathedral School, Anna Cirilli, and with our deacons, James Norman and James Sponder, and how, when we come back, how the deacons feel this is part of their mission in ministry. We'll be back in a few minutes. Please stay tuned.
We are hiring. Catholic Charities of the Archdiocese of Chicago is looking for mission-driven individuals who want to help make a positive difference in the lives of people in need throughout Cook and Lake counties. Be part of a diverse, talented team of professionals in the largest human services organization in the Midwest. We are dedicated to helping people chart a more stable, happier future for themselves, and we accompany anyone in need, regardless of faith, gender, race, or ethnicity. Competitive salaries and generous benefits add to the satisfaction you'll have every day, knowing that you're helping us amplify our impact in Chicago. To see our list of employment opportunities, visit CatholicCharities.net.
Welcome back.
Es fabuloso verlos.
Dobrze jest znowu być razem.
It's good to be together again.
After so many months apart, pandemic capacity limits have been lifted, and we want to welcome everyone back to church. We can all pray together again. And listen as our choirs lift their voices in song.
We've been together in spirit.
And now, when you are ready, our doors are open wide.
Nuestras puertas están abiertas de par en par.
Nasze drzwi są otwarte.
And we're here to welcome you back to Catholic Mass.
At Catholic Charities, we want to remind you that we are here for anyone who is a victim of domestic violence or anyone who has a concern about someone they think may be a victim. Domestic violence affects millions of people each year, both women and men, of every race, religion, culture, and economic status. It includes physical, psychological, and emotional abuse, inflicted in both subtle and overt ways. The impact on children can be devastating. If you or someone you know are victims of domestic violence and you are looking for a place for healing and recovery, call us at 773-935-3434 in Cook County and 224-430-4977 in Lake County. A safer, happier tomorrow can begin today.
We're back, WNDZ 750 AM. Father Craig Sakowitz, Mark Teresi, Catholic Chicago, 312-255-8408. You can also go to youtube.com/Catholic Chicago. We're with Deacon James Norman, Deacon James Sponder, and we're Anna Sorelli, who's the principal at the St. Nicholas Cathedral School, having, I would say, extremely riveting, powerful conversation about the children, about how Anna is connected with the deacons. Deacon James Norman, Vicar for Deacons. How has this impacted you?
I described this to the deacons we met with earlier this week as just really a blessing to be a part of the diaconate of the Archdiocese of Chicago, a blessing to be able to visit St. Nicholas Cathedral, to meet Anna and see the work that her and her staff are doing. We also had the privilege to walk through the cathedral and talk with the rector there and learn more of what was happening. So just a blessing to be able to support their work, blessed by the generosity of the diaconate community.
And along those very same lines, Deacon James Sponder, how has this experience touched your life?
As soon as I was there on Monday, and we toured the school and the church, I saw the faces of those children, and I immediately said to myself, we've got to do more. Us deacons, we've got to do more. I just wanted to right then and there. And so very much so I've been impacted And it's sad, though, that we have to do this as a deacon. It's very sad under these circumstances. These poor children displaced by this terrible tragedy, this war. So it saddens my heart, but I'm proud to be a deacon, knowing that I'm doing the work of the Lord in this way.
Now, along those lines, Anna, you've been listening to Deacon James and Deacon James tell their stories in terms of how they've been impacted by this. How can people in the Archdiocese of Chicago continue to help with Deacon James Norman, Deacon James Sponder? What is a website if they want to give some monetary? Because let me ask you, what are the needs right now of your school?
I think so. We've done a lot in terms of like getting the school supplies and everything. I constantly have people reach out about that, so that that box has been checked, I guess. You could say. So really focusing on the tuition, which helps us support hiring new staff, hiring additional staff. Right now we're still just not really fully staffed due to the teacher shortage, due to the COVID, the COVID pandemic aftermath. We're still experiencing that. So, and now the dynamic of our staff needs to change just a little, where we need to have more translators on hand for situations where there might be a classroom that has almost, 40% students that aren't speaking English.
Wow.
And Ukrainian is a language where the alphabet is completely different. So the students are starting from scratch. I mean, they're learning letters and learning how to read and write in English first. The tuition cost is basically what will help us the most.
Now, where are these families being housed in your community? Have people taken them into their homes?
It's a little bit of everything. We have some people sleeping on couches and air mattresses, and then others have been able to find an apartment. A lot of these families are working families, so it's not like they're coming from nothing. So they maybe had something saved up. Maybe there's a family member back in Ukraine that's still doing some work, depending on what part of Ukraine they're from. It's a little bit of everything, but there are situations where, they're sleeping on air mattresses or on sleeping bags on the floor.
Did you have a case where many of these families came over, but the dads, the husbands have stayed back to fight the war?
Yes. I mean, that's a majority.
Wow. So these children come with their mothers and their dads are back home.
Wow.
Yes.
That must break your heart.
That's probably been one of the hardest things for us to navigate because, children process trauma in different ways. And so for like an adolescent, like a teenage boy, who really could be using the guidance from dad right now, there's a void there. We are seeing the trauma play out in different ways, but we are having some difficulties managing and helping support the mom in managing some behaviors.
James, either James, but how can we continue to help?
I think, as Anna said, any direct support to St. Nicholas Cathedral, I think sharing the story and of the good work that they're doing there at the cathedral, supporting the diaconates. Upcoming, we have our annual St. Francis dinner, which is put on by the Diaconate Council. It's a primary fundraiser for us here. It's October 4th, Jim, I believe it is.
Yes, I believe
October 4th at Elm Crest Banquet Halls. So support of that in your local parishes. If you'd like to buy a table or if you'd like to send a donation, that those monies pass on to those in need in the Chicagoland area.
And what is the website, Jim? What's the diaconate website for people to make a donation?
You can go right to the Archdiocese website and then click diaconate office.
So it's archchicago.org.
Yes.
And click onto the diaconate office.
And Anna, what about to our listeners reaching out? You said you're short-staffed. There is a teacher crisis, a shortage. I don't mean to say it this way, but give a pitch to folks listening if they are a teacher and thinking about possibly a new beginning or maybe a new teacher. Why would they come to St. Nicholas at this time?
Well, I always, in an interview with a new candidate, talk a lot about how great of a team we have. That's something that I'm very proud of. Over the years, we've really built a strong team that works well together. They collaborate regularly. They have fun together. It's a happy environment. With the war, we took on some stress, some outside stress, right? But they were still able to work with each other and find ways to unwind, to sort of support each other through that. So it's a different environment than some schools where it's not, I don't want to say rigid, because we do have protocols that we follow here and guidelines, but it's just a little bit more of a small classroom. Obviously is the max size classroom is 20, 22. I think that's always appealing to teachers, but the kids are good. I mean, they're relatively really good. I rarely have discipline issues. We don't have a dean of students, so we're not dealing with those regular tough situations. The kids are just really good and focused on becoming strong learners and excelling academically and even socially. We saw the students come together and put together prayer vigils. And they did that all on their own, leading hundreds of people together in prayer.
Beautiful.
I don't think that would happen at every school.
Anna, are you looking for?
You're right.
Anna, are you looking for just individuals who could be translators to help you day in and day out? Not to be a teacher, but just to be a translator for these children. Would that benefit you?
Yeah, some supports in the classroom, a go-between between the teacher and the students, so that the students constantly able to keep up and to learn.
Now, again, what would be a phone number they could learn more to maybe give you a phone call?
The phone number to the school is 773-384-7243.
That number once again.
773-384-7243.
We need to bring the program to a close. I want to thank in a very special way Deacon James Norman, the Vicar for Deacons in the Archdiocese of Chicago, Deacon James Sponder, Chairman of the Diaconate Council in the Archdiocese of Chicago, and Anna Cirilli, Principal at the St. Nicholas Cathedral School in Chicago. To all three of you, God bless you. Yes. Marvelous story. Our prayers are with you. Special thanks also to co-host Mark Teresi, our producer-engineers Michael May, Brian Hockey, Hitman Brock. To our listeners, God bless. Have a blessed weekend.
Join us every Monday through Friday at this time for Catholic Chicago. You can stream our programs live or listen to past programs by visiting our website, archchicago.org, and clicking on Radio TV. And please connect with Catholic Chicago on social media.